Hey, Plant Pals, Mike the Kid Gardener, and today is an indoor tour. It's been a couple weeks since I've did one. I've been very busy, and I thought I'd update everyone on what's been going on. So this is my wife's celosia. Like I said, I keep cutting it way back down to a stick, and it just pops right back up. It's got a beautiful purplish hue to the stems. So just the stems alone are pretty. I haven't gotten the flowers yet because I keep having to cut it back. But now that it's been in the 70s, and I think the coldest it's supposed to be at night is in the 40s, I'll wait till it's more to the 60s and 70s, 60s at night, so that I don't shock the poor thing. I'm gonna put this thing outside and let it do its thing, because I really enjoyed growing this inside over the winter. And it's in my wife's office. We're redoing her office anyway. That's part of the reason why I'm so busy. We're pretty much redoing every room in the house, so we've got huge boxes of furniture and cabinets and cupboards and chairs and beds and all sorts of things we have to assemble and unbox and put together and take out the old stuff and all that happy home redecorating stuff. It's a lot of work, but like I said, it should be worth it. But it has made me kind of neglect my plants a tiny bit. Um, so it should be a time where a lot of this indoor stuff is going to go outside, which is the another benefit of growing inside is that I will have a head start on putting things outside because these are mature plants. So if I take cuttings, now I'm not sure if this plant will do take to a cutting, but it did. I remember I messed up the start of it, and it had no roots, and it took root. So I might cut this long one off and put it in some water because it's kind of untidy to the group anyway, and see if I can get an additional flower plant growing and put it outside. So yeah, I'll just cut it off, put it in some water, and we'll see what happens. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so this is the micro jalapeno I've been growing, and I'm letting a lot of them go red because I like them when they're red. They have more flavor to me than just the green jalapenos. And there's a good 30 or so peppers on here, which is really awesome. So there's a lot of, you can see a lot of the red ones, but there's also a ton of green ones. And these are decent size. They're not full size jalapenos. I've grown some miniature plants I trained from regular jalapenos. I just trained them, kept them back, and they were, full size. But the nice thing about this is it pretty much topped off at like the the 18-inch mark or whatever, and makes it so I don't have to trim as much. I've trimmed some of the stuff off top, but most of the growth has been down below. So yeah, that was kind of fun. And again, I will probably take this outside and stick it in like a hanging basket. I get a little better view from lower here so you can see all of the peppers that are on this thing. Really pretty. Yeah, figured next I'll show my experimental shelf. This was my uh, bunching onion experiment, and it's going really good. You can see it. So I'm already ready to. This is as high as this unit will go, so I need to start cutting off the tops, and I can use them in my eggs and stews and stuff, and just let this thing keep going. And because it's in a seed starting deck, I might be able to just stick these right outside. And so what I did was the experiment that worked was these things were getting so much algae from being opened. So what I did is I put foil over it and punched holes exactly where the seeds would come out, and that kept the. So it was just the only thing happening down here is the stem of the plant, and it seemed to have worked. Next to that, so you can see the Venus microdwarf tomatoes creeping over across everything, and I've gotten tons and tons of tomatoes off this thing. I've been kind of lazy about cutting off the dead stuff, which would make it even more prolific. Oh, there's a ripe one back there that needs to be harvested. You see, like there's some dead stuff here. And this is the microtom, and it's pretty much the I got to cut all the dead stuff off so that the new growth will produce more. And again, I think I'm also going to put these outside in hanging baskets so I can enjoy little garden snacks. Below that is the opal basil. That's just, remember how wimpy and sad it was? Well, it's really taken off. And it keeps growing up in the light, and I keep harvesting and using it. I still haven't replaced the, I was going to replace it with rosemary. I haven't replaced the lettuce, but I decided I want to regrow a little bit of its lettuce in one of the pods, which is kind of funny to me. This, the baby microdwarf has been a very big disappointment to me because it's just tall and flopped over and took forever to grow tomatoes. It's got tomatoes on here, but they're not even ripening yet. And they're not very big, so there are other dwarf tomatoes that are more prolific. You know, they faster growth, more prolific, less tall. You know, I think this would be fine outside. It'd probably do very well, but inside, maybe in a bounty system, you trellis it up. It's not that big of a fan. We'll have to see the flavor once it finally does get ripe. And again, I'll also stick these outside and probably a grow bag and see what happens. Here's just my herbs from the herb challenge. They're doing awesome. I still haven't, there's some things I still have not replaced. The dwarf moringa's fallen over. I need to put that in a bigger container, stake it up. Everything down below here is doing awesome. The bloody dock and the, look at that, beautiful. The Greek mountain mint. My mullein is doing great, and of course the borage is really taken off. Here's my hickory. I haven't tasted one of the leaves yet. Might have to taste one. Not now though, just in case it's gross. Be right back. Oh, I thought I'd show these two quick. So this is my what I'm calling the kitchen herbs, and I had these. The dill was growing so crazy and trying to take over everything that I had it. Cut the tops off the little plastic cups to keep it growing straight, but then it just knocked them over. So what I'm gonna do is I got a trellis here. I'm gonna put the trellis and keep them from growing all over everybody else. And I'm at the point now where when it gets to this height, I can cut the ones that are this height off and use them in cooking, and it'll just keep reproducing. I'll come back a day later and they'll be up in the up in the lights. So if you recall, my peppers had powdery mildew, and so I sprayed them with the baking soda, and that halted it. There was some peppers, a couple peppers that were too badly damaged. I took those off. This little guy here, I cut him down to a stick to see if he'll regrow back, and if he does, I'll stick him outside. These are the violet sparkle, and this one is recovered. It's grown those pretty little purple peppers. They're okay. I don't find them to be any tastier than any other pepper. Kind of small. Right next to here is my lipstick pepper. I've got tons of beautiful lipstick peppers, and I actually had lost like 5 of them. But this too has recovered. So once these start to get ripe, I'll enjoy myself some lipstick peppers. And so pretty much I took the other violet sparkle out that was too badly damaged by the powdery mildew. I've been cutting any bad leaves, and I see if a leaf is kind of wimpy like this, kind of floppy, I'll just cut it off. And that puts the energy back into the peppers and the plant. Next to that is the brown jalapeno. You can see some damage here, and that was from when I was snipping the leaves. I actually nicked it, but it recovered. So I'm still going to use it and eat it. But you can see I've got tons of the brown jalapenos on here. So it's a very prolific plant. Now it's just the waiting game for it to ripen up. And then here's the other violet sparkle. It produced a couple peppers that I ate. And I cut it way back again too, because I'm going to put this one outside as well. And the reason for doing that is when here in the summertime, we have so many gnats outside. Like when you walk by, they don't seem to bother the garden much, but they will try to come inside. And that's when you're just busy fighting gnats inside instead of growing things outside. And I like to concentrate on the inside, so I'll pick a few things that the gnats don't like and grow those during the summertime inside, but I'll ramp the production way down, and then come fall, I'll do a big clean out and shut everything down so that it makes sure that any critters that are bugging the inside die off, and then over the winter time I can grow bug free. Like I have the sticky traps everywhere, and I have not seen a single gnat inside this winter, except for in the late fall I saw one and freaked out, but that was it. I had zero gnats. The only problem I had this winter is it was so moist and warm inside, is I had the powdery mildew. So yeah, I will be back. So here's that lettuce that I cut all the way down to the deck, and 2 weeks later it's harvest time, definitely, and I might just let it do it again. See if it comes back for a third time. I mean, I was pretty vicious about just, like I said, I just took a pair of scissors and just cut everything down to the deck, and everything popped right back up. It's still sweet and crisp and delicious, so it's pretty cool. Next to that is the silly supposed micro tomato that is up to the ceiling and growing all over my, it's about 5 feet, stretching out in all directions, and it's growing up amongst my squash tower, and haven't had a single tomato. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna start taking cuttings now that's getting warm out. I'm gonna do a ton of cuttings, and I'll stick that outside. Here's some more of my herbs. There's my basil station, and then my random herbs. They're all doing great. Very pleased with that. My squash tower is still going insane. It's up to the ceiling now. I've kind of given up trying to contain it, and you can see all the boys. Those are all the skinny ones. Are all boys, and I don't have any girl squash to pollinate. So it was a pain before because it was just the girls producing these beautiful flowers that were open and waiting for the pollen, and there was no pollen. And now I've got a ton of these goofy boys who they're not even opening. They're not even flowering. They're just, and I've, given them every nutrient to get them to do so, but they're just being stubborn. And the same thing with everything else. I can take a cutting off of that, root it, and put it outside, and just be that much further ahead for the outside. And that's what I did last spring. Is I used almost half my garden that I enjoyed from summer worked from cuttings inside. Right, and I'll just, like I said, I've been very busy, but I'll keep everybody updated on what's going on inside and outside. And I just did a cleanup video, and I'll be showing that. All right, any comments, questions, leave in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Have an awesome day. Squash Tower.